post-SolarWinds hack, in our opinion, it's one of the biggest black eyes we've seen for the cybersecurity sector ever. But this is just, I think we're only in the second inning of this all playing out. And if you look at the federal spend, the incremental $9 billion last night, it's a jaw dropper, because that's going to further add fuel to the engine, what we're seeing in terms of spending. And we're talking about what we think could be 25-30% increase in spend across federal. And I think Biden came out swinging on cybersecurity after what we saw in the SolarWinds hack. Smart move's going to benefit a handful of these players front and center.
And who are those handful?
Well, I think front and center is Telos. They federal play in DoD, a lot of three-letter intelligence agencies. Zscaler has been one of our favorites. They also have heavy government exposure as well. Also, SailPoint and Tenable. These are some names that I think from a re-rating perspective and what they're seeing growth, you could see growth potentially in some of these names go up 40-50% in terms of what we're seeing, not just on federal, but across enterprise, given the sophistication of hacks, especially post-SolarWinds. What we saw last night, I think that's just the first step of what's going to be a massive spending increase.
Yeah, Dan, I noticed Palantir is not anywhere. Is that just because you don't cover it or you just don't like it?
No, I like Palantir, and I think they are going to benefit in terms on the federal. But I think what we're seeing in terms of our checks, it's really names like a Zscaler, a CyberArk, a Telos that are disproportionately benefiting from what we're seeing in terms of the hack. They'll benefit. It's a rising tide lifts all boats here. But also they're starting to focus more and more on enterprise. And I think overall cybersecurity, it's our favorite sector in tech going into this year. I still think a lot of these names re-rate valuations continue to stretch. I think Street still underestimating numbers by potentially 10-20%.
Are they all kind of the same, or is there literally critical differences between a Zscaler and a CyberArk and a Palo Alto that we need to focus more on?
Yeah, I think there's critical differences. If I look at Zscaler, where it's all heading, Zscaler or CrowdStrike, they're really ones that they're taking everything to the cloud. You look at things like Jedi with Microsoft, it's Zscaler, CrowdStrike, Zero Trust architecture. Palo Alto is going to benefit as well, being an install-based vendor. But what's happening, you have a firewall, which is existing, as well as moving to the cloud. And there's a handful called 3 to 5 niche players. You look at a SailPoint, a Tenable, and then I think the golden child here in federal is Telos. They play really in a lot of these black ops, and we're seeing more and more DoD spending. They increase. And that's why, in our opinion, this is still an under-the-radar sector. Even though the stocks had a move, I think it's only just started.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.